Hello and welcome now to the third video on engineering the enterprise semantic layer. In today's video, we will be creating a physical object that will leverage the data source schema that we have created in previous video, and then we will leverage that data structure and map it explicitly through to the schema of the ontology that we created in the first video, describing the marketing campaign business object. In this purpose, now we see here over the interface the same visualization as we saw for business objects in the first video, but here are for physical objects. So in this case, we will be creating a new one, which will be a meta representation of the actual physical store. So here we will be calling it it will be called Marketing Campaign Analytics Data Warehouse. Metrics. And for this one, we will be then here selecting an existing schema, which is the one that we have created in the last video, which is going to be the Marketing Campaign Analytics Data Warehouse SQL. And we will be mapping it to the business object ontology that we have created in the first video as well. We will also map it against the customer business object ontology, as it will also contain customer relevant data. Right. So now the physical object was created and also the schema mappings were defined. So now we just need to map what we have created in the ontology against what we have created in the schema. So maybe just a quick recap on what we're going to be doing. So on the first hand side, we will be mapping basically the definitions that we have here in this business object ontology that we saw at the beginning. So remember we said here a marketing campaign will be defined by the customer that it targets. At the same time, it will have a given target segment. Also, it will be conducted through some communication channels, and it will have some marketing campaign analytics outcomes, such as we can see here, for example, clicks, conversions, impressions, leads generated. The idea is we will be leveraging this unified definition for what a marketing campaign business object is and map it explicitly to these technical definitions that we can see here in the given schema that we are going to be mapping against. Yeah, as we said previously, of course, these definitions are very technical and only the people that work with this data schema understand them. However, they understand them probably in their own way because these are not mapped to the actual enterprise language, which is the one that comes explicitly from the ontology. So we will be performing a mapping between what we see here and what we saw on the ontology. So for this, we have two options. The one is doing it manually. Here I can select, for example, a given table. For example, here it could be something such as this given, let's say, IDs. So for example, here a table with different columns, and we could map it here to, let's say, a given class. For example, here we said it could be, for example, for marketing campaign outcome, and then select the different elements by hand. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to leverage AI, so we can map the schemas in an automated way and rather take it from there. So we can, let's say, enhance and accelerate a little bit the process. So as we will be seeing here, two different classes were identified that map to two different tables. For example, we see that, let's say, different columns in this table, which are a little bit encrypted. AI manages still to identify what they mean according to the definitions of the ontology. For example, this CLK underscore CNT, it's going to be understood as clicks right here. So in this column, the number of clicks are going to be counted the same way here for leads generated, conversions, and very importantly also here the primaries and foreign key relationships will be mapped explicitly here to the relationships of the ontologies. Yeah. So the idea is that we will be having an explicit map of this metadata against the metadata that was defined in the ontology, however, in this enterprise-related language. Yeah. So the same we can do here for customer. We can also here either do it manually or do it also AI-based. So we can see, right, that this given table maps here and contains customer explicit metadata, such as, for example, phone numbers, legal names, country codes. Yeah, all of this will map here explicitly to those definitions that came from the business object ontology customer itself.